So we gotta talk about the shift in the scalper market right now. So make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more. Everything is interconnected in the card game world. So recently, especially like if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player, you might not have seen this, but since I keep up with a lot of like the Pokemon space, there's been a meme going around where all the Poke Bros and all the Poke investors are shifting over to One Piece at the moment. One Piece's market has been shifting up. Alpha Investments has had a lot of self-reflection on One Piece, realizing that this is more than a fad. And, you know, people are starting to pick up. Now, we've been seeing a lot of these manga rares, a lot of these treasure cup cards, a lot of these cards in One Piece are suddenly starting to see an uptick because people are shifting away from the space in Pokemon over to One Piece. Now, what's causing this? Unironically, I've heard people aren't happy with the limits at Walmart for product. So, you know, people can't go in and pick up large amounts of the cards anymore, which is actually saving the Pokemon hobby, which is pushing investors over to the other side of this game. So now One Piece is experiencing the upticks in, like I said, all of those different particular cards. And it's been something for, I think this has been going on for 2 months. Now, a long term, I mean, is this good for the Pokemon hobby? I mean, less people hammering down on the Pokemon market means a cool down, but the 30th is coming. Now, as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, what does this mean to you? You know, it's like, Robbie, you know, like all of these, the Poke Bros are shifting around over here to One Piece. It means that Yu-Gi-Oh is, you know, we have our full arts. We have serial cards coming here soon. If you don't think that eyes are going to shift around and suddenly look at us like that hot piece of chicken over there on that plate, that actually does look pretty good right now. I'm kind of feeling that. I haven't eaten, you know, today, but I mean, that would be, I'm just saying, that looks pretty tasty over there, you know. The investors are going to go where the money is. It's the unfortunate side of this. I know a lot of people have very, very, very poor stomachs when it comes to the amounts of money that this shift around. And it's kind of crazy to see that. So right now, eyes are shifting away from Pokemon. They're going to One Piece. A few of these eyes are kind of peering over at Riftbound a little bit. I think it is safe to say that Riftbound probably will have some of the Pokebro investors kind of trickling on in over into Riftbound. No matter what you want to say or how you want to spin it, it's League of Legends. League of Legends as an IP has unlimited money works, basically, at this point. So it's not surprising to see that, you know, we're just kind of following the pattern here. This is what happens when the money in one sector that has just grown up for so much just kind of starts to dilate. And then, of course, you know, you just have one person going, well, I can walk over here and I can pick up assets in this class and then walk on over into this class and pick up stuff. The problem is Riftbound is a new game. You're on a very short-term market. And I'm sure if you guys remember, Gundam in the very early stages of its card game development also had some very, very disgusting value within its time. But Gundam has long since cooled down. I still do hear the occasional, you know, I can't find product for this. And other times I've got people just going, go out to Target, go out to, you know, Walmart. I found Gundam out in the open at Walmart. It's not that it's hard to find. It does, in fact, exist. It's just, you know, the numbers in the Gundam market are not what they were at the beginning, because what little investors that we did have vominosed on over to another game. So the scalper market is shifting right now. It is a very interesting time to talk about this kind of stuff. And it's important that you, as a consumer, need to be aware of where the money is going, and where the shifts in the market are lying right now. Because if you are a One Piece player and you're like, oh, hey, you know, like, I have a manga or two I pulled, this might be an opportunity to, you know, dare I say, cash out. And, you know, we talk about riding the waves, all right, of these games. High points like this create opportunity for people that want to make a little bit of extra money. And, you know, whether or not you're happy or you're unhappy about me having those words, a couple of extra dollars is always going to be a couple extra dollars, no matter how you do it. There's always going to be micro and macro systems to this sort of thing. To just kind of promote the market. If you had a manga rare and you're suddenly selling it for like $150 profit because it's spiked up recently, I'm not going to call you a scalper. That's not how that works. All right, it's just you have the card, you made a little bit of money off of it. That's fine. Even on like the micro into the midsection of it, it's not even crazy. It's just like it's opportunity cost at that point. So at this stage, I think I owned one Piece back. It was a set 5, and I think my friend opened it because he was like, I'm opening this. So I think that was the only One Piece thing. I also had I think I had the PSA card, and I think I had a Dodger Luffy, but I had to get rid of the Dodger Luffy to get some spare capital to pick up some of the legendary decks I wanted for the long term. So those were, I think, were the only things I personally had in One Piece. I don't dislike One Piece. I think the way the game plays is fine. I'm already too involved in like Pokemon for older formats. Yu-Gi-Oh, Vanguard, Weiss, Universes. I said Vanguard, right? And Union Arena and Gundam. That's way more card games than the average human being should be allowed to even look at. Honestly, we should be shaking that down, and it should be realistically Yu-Gi-Oh, Gundam, and Vanguard. But even that is more than... Right now, certain card games are at least affordable enough that you can actually play multiple of them. Looking at Union Arena, for example, you know, you can get a whole Union Arena deck for, depending on the IP, you can get it for like $40-50. It's like Pokemon levels of cheap in certain regards. So, I mean, there are wins in that category. Vanguard's a little bit more mid-expensive. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has calmed down a lot over the last couple months. I mean, Pokemon's still going to cost you anywhere from $40 to $100 for a competitively viable deck, depending on the time of the year of the ramp up in competitive season. It really just kind of depends on those little certain factors. One Piece, I'm not exactly sure what the cost of a meta deck is. Gundam, I think you can get in for, depending on the deck, $100. Maybe, I think, yeah, you can get in at $100 now. For something a little bit more viable, considering, you know, we're only 2 sets in to things. So, I mean, like, even though the scalper mentality and the wave is shifting around right now, I do believe, actually, one of the most expensive games right now, I think, is Riftbound. The Riftbound also is only first set, and I think they did their reprints already on that sort of game. So that's definitely... We're seeing some marketing shift abilities in that category. So, you know, I mean, what is it? It was the same thing we talked about, or was discussed with One Piece versus Gundam in the beginning. You know, by the time set, you know, 5, 4 come down, and they get the allocation cost and shit fixed, you know, things are bound to get a lot more readily available. And once again, we talk about print runs. Look at Pokemon right now. Pokemon is printer going brr, 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 brr. You know, it is just slapping out some of this stuff, though. Millennium Print Group is having issues, and look at all the delays that Yu-Gi-Oh! Was faced with because of that. So, I mean, things are happening in the background right now. So, the wave is on its way to One Piece at the moment, if it's not already arrived. The wave is also kind of slowly looking at Riftbound. Don't be surprised in a couple of maybe 6 to 8 months when Yu-Gi-Oh's got these breaks and all these full arts coming around. Don't be surprised if those eyes are suddenly turning to Yu-Gi-Oh! With this, because we're definitely in an environment where that could be happening. But what do you guys think about today's outlook on the forecast? Please leave a comment down below. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.